Welcome to Moments with Marianne. This is your host, Marianne Pastana. And we're here today with special guest, Lynn Patner, who's here to share with us her book, The Awakened Soul, Discover the Light Within. Are you tired with the way things are and it's just time to change your mindset, heal yourself, and heal your life? Well, today's show is just for you. Lynn Patner is a warm, funny, inspiring, and compassionate teacher. Her mission in life is to assist others on their journey of awakening to their unlimited potential and the uniqueness of their own being. As a social worker and children's advocate for San Mateo County's Children and Family Services, Lynn's years of experience in working with families and individuals that are going through very difficult life transitions has given her a deep level of compassion and respect for others and their individual life journeys. So welcome to the show, Lynn Patner.
Hi.
Nice to meet you, Lynn. I'm so glad that we're here and we get to talk about your book. I've got to ask you, I was so impressed with your book. It's written so well. There are parts where you laugh, where you cry. What inspired you to write this book now?
That's a great question. Really a great question. On this journey of 36 plus years, I have learned I have guides. Everybody has guides. When we're born, we have someone that comes with us. I call him a babysitter. And what I was told by my guide at last year when we were in the middle of COVID was that if you don't write the book now, you're going to miss your opportunity to assist people. So that's why I wrote the book, because I'm lazy. I'm a good storyteller, but writing is not something, I love doing. Writing is a very difficult process for me. Speaking is much easier. So that's what did it. They kicked me in the tush.
Well, I'm so glad that you did. It's such a remarkable book. And I think it's just, we were talking about this earlier, it's helping so many people. I understand that you were a social worker for children. How did you even get into that line of work?
Well, at the beginning, I was, when I first got married at the ripe old age of 21, I had finished an education major. And I taught Head Start. I think I'm the original Head Start teacher. And in Head Start, I saw what looked like abuse. I did not see abuse. It was on a little boy, Orlando was his name. Excuse me. And it bothered me. And that bothered me. And so I got married and we moved to California. And when my kids were older, I decided I wanted to go back to school and become a social worker, so that I could work in child welfare. And I did. And what drew me to it is I am a mama bear and I'm a protector. And I had to learn a lot on my job about compassion and love for others' journeys. And being a social worker, you're really in the trenches a lot. And all of it was perfectly orchestrated. I cannot tell you how interesting life is for everybody when they really take a look and see how well orchestrated their lives are when they get to a certain point of self-healing.
It's pretty interesting as you're walking this windy path that you think you're going to go one place, you end up another. And a lot of times it's exactly where you're supposed to be. Right.
Absolutely. Pretty incredible.
Yeah. I look at my life kind of the same way. I was like, whoa, how did that all happen? But you have such an interesting background because you really kind of dovetail this educated, mindful, insightful teacher. And you're also doing certified hypnotherapy, Reiki. You've studied like shamanism and, different Eastern traditions. How did you get inspired to move in that direction as well?
Well, when we moved to California, I was Donna Reed. I don't know if your listeners know Donna Reed. If they're younger than 40, they don't know Donna Reed. Well, probably 40-year-olds. Donna Reed was a character in the 50s and 60s who was like Leave It to Beaver's mom. Donna Reed wore pearls. Everything was settled in the house. It was perfect. She dressed up. She put on lipstick. She was Donna Reed. And I had her as a role model because my mom was older than the rest of the moms. And she wasn't as cute or perky, but I wanted to be Donna Reed. So I was Donna Reed. Then a friend of mine who was a psychiatric nurse introduced me to an individual who was either from Russia or Germany. I'm not sure. He was a doctor. And she sent me, we went together to Woodside, California to hear this man who could send energy from his aura to our auras. And I, of course, I don't know what an aura is, never heard of an aura, didn't even know what chakras were, but it sounded like so much fun. So I went. I've always liked doing weird things. So this was really good. So it was either going to be a good story or I was going to get a lesson. I wasn't sure. So I went, and it was a whole big deal getting there. But as I was sitting there watching him with one eye open and one eye shut, because I'm extremely skeptical. I mean, I was raised in the Western traditions. And all of a sudden, something in my head said, shut up, Lynn, and close your eyes. I mean, shut up. What guy tells their kid to shut up? Well, mine did. And I shut my eyes. And with that, there was this huge burst of energy that came up through my core. And it was absolutely phenomenal. I could not believe what I was feeling in my body. And it hit my sinuses. And I went, boom, it was like 4th of July. And oh my God, that's what started the whole enchilada. Feeling that and wanting to know how is this possible? How do you do this? And then I just said, I'm going to do this. And that's how it started. So I basically went in through energy, healing energy. And I was told, I would like to read you something because I think this will assist people because it's really a pretty neat thing.
Oh, awesome.
When I was teaching the artist's way, because I told everybody I'd be spiritual in 2 years and they all laughed at me, which I would laugh at me too, but I didn't laugh at me. I just thought I would. And basically I was. I just never got it all downloaded yet. It took me another 50,000 years to get it, but I had fun doing it. But Julia Cameron's book, The Artist's Way, has two things in it. One is a play date and the other is stream of consciousness writing, which is a brain drain, which is phenomenal. And this was very new to me. So I was at work sitting in one of those small dictation booths, and this is what I wrote. There are so many hurting people in the world, all trying to tap their way out of a shell and emerge healthy. So many barriers. Look to do this work joyfully. Don't be your own worst friend. Remember, you are doing the best you can with the tools you have. Allow this process to go on and get out of the way, especially if you're not serving yourself. Always remember you are not alone. There are many entities around who are assisting people in their growth toward the light. They may not be aware of it at first, but the moments of synchronicity are too numerous for the unfolding conscious mind to ignore. It is truly wonderful to observe the positive growth through pain and emerge as a new spiritual being that will shed light on people in their own way. One must experience the pain and anguish in order to see it's only a momentary stop-off in life before they get onto the real work of living. There is a plan for everyone, and everyone must take this journey alone. This is what happened to me. I had no idea what this was about. I just couldn't believe it. I had never done automatic writing. But if you really listen to those words, you will see what I had to learn. I had to heal first in order to heal others or help others heal. So I looked at myself as a midwife of awakening souls because I've gone through the process of birth. I'm still in the process. I haven't fully gestated yet. I'm sure I'm somewhere in there. But that's what I was working in. And I was being led all the way through that. They had told me what they were doing. I didn't get it. So this book really is a bunch of stories to assist people wherever they are, because you'll see how I fell in the rabbit hole. I got out. I learned about discernment. I learned this. I learned that. I learned that a squirrel lady was this incredible woman who validated what I was going through. So my whole book is based on those stories and how I received the information. I didn't know I was being sent. I had no clue. You know, you've heard of this expression, dumb bunny?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm wagging my little butt.
Well, I think all of us have gone through a point where we're a little naive about things, but man, I mean, to be able to bring forth such profound messages, I mean, I'm floored just reading your book.
Oh, thanks. I was floored writing the book.
Well, and I mean, a lot of times you hear when people are, doing automatic writing or channeling or what have you, that the words that are coming out, they have to go back and kind of read it because it could be a little bit of a surprise. Did you find that was the case for you?
I wrote that in 1996. I was showing it to everybody because I was so impressed with myself that this happened. I mean, it was all ego, ego, ego. I never really got the message of it until much later. I got the message of how I had to heal me in order to heal another. I can't explain how my guides probably worked overtime to assist me in getting to where I am now, only because I always felt like I was in control. I always knew everything. My opinion counted. I held people accountable. Responsibility was a really big thing for me. You need to be responsible. And so I had to learn that everyone's on a journey and to have compassion for their journey because it's their soul's journey. I am not here to judge another's journey. And these are hard lessons. I had to learn to let go, letting go of everything. So I have faith. I wasn't brought up religious. I'm a Jewish girl, but with no religious upbringing. But I have incredible faith now. And it's all built because of that one thing, that I was on a path. They told me what I needed to do and where I needed to go. And I followed because I was being sent there and I was curious. I think of all the things that I've learned is my curiosity has always been, wow, this is pretty magical. Let's see what happens here. I'm a believer in fairy tales and I believe in magic. And I've had a lot of really interesting encounters, some of which are not in the book, of course, but I've enjoyed the journey. It's a fun journey. You have to look at yourself, but if you have a mentor, my book is supposed to help people see that they're not alone, that there's other people out there that are, tripping and falling on their face. And what I learned is probably what they're going to learn in their own way.
Well, I think this book is so timely because you're talking about letting go. And right now, so many people are doing that, maybe not because they want to, it's because they have to, of a home or a job or finances or a loved one or a beloved pet. I mean, you name it. How does that all tie into your book?
Well, I think what I gather is that there's different lessons that you have to learn. So letting go is a big lesson, right? For most people, because they always want to be in control and they only have their attitude to be in control. That's it. But if they don't get their messages, if they don't get their lessons, then what happens is they keep getting repeated until something comes up that can cause them to really sit back and say, oh my God, I've lost everything. Like what just happened in Kentucky, which is so sad. But then it opens up everybody's hearts around them, and including mine, to want to do something for these people who have lost everything in their lives. So these tragedies also show us that we are a loving population of people. We've just gotten off track.
Well, on that note, we're going to pause here for a quick break. We've been speaking with Lynn Patner in regards to her new book, The Awakened Soul. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Are you an actor, public speaker, or an executive telling your story over Zoom? Jean-Louis Rodrigue and Scott Weintraub's new book, Back to the Body, takes the process they use to coach top Hollywood talent like Margot Robbie, Jack Black, and Ke Huy Quan and makes it available to everyone. Using your body and its energy as a point of departure, your work will gain an enhanced level of performance and depth. Back to the Body, Available on Amazon and wherever books are sold.
Every day, pets are surrendered and abandoned. For these helpless and hurting animals, Paws Humane Society acts as a voice for the voiceless, providing hope for a brighter future. You can make a difference in the life of a shelter pet. Become a humane hero today. Just $10 a month will provide much-needed food, shelter, medical care, and love. It takes a community. It takes heroes like you. Together we can. Together we will. Together we are Paws Humane. Visit pawshumane.org to be a hero in every animal story.
What if everything we think we know about addiction, depression, anxiety, and trauma is missing the one key element that will actually let you walk away from them for good? My name's Bob Gardner, founder of The Freedom Specialist and creator of a body-based approach that eliminates suffering and creates happiness, health, and well-being on autopilot. You can read all about it in my book, Built for Freedom, or start your own adventure toward lasting freedom at thefreedomspecialist.com.
If you want to stop divorce fast, you do not need to waste years in therapy, you do not need to work on yourself, and you do not even have to have your spouse on board. If your spouse wants out, if they're filing for divorce, separation, or having an affair, what you need is a proven process to turn your marriage around. Book a free breakthrough session with us at highthrivecoaching.com/apply.
Dr. Richard London, who has 25 years of experience being known as the Man of Steel with the Heart of Velvet, presents the Life Wellness System, The Road to Yes, a mentoring system that brings you to becoming a wellness heir. Imagine having wealth, wellness, love, peace, and spirituality in abundance and balance now. Visit doctorateoflife.com or call 720-213-8021 for a free 15-minute wellness evaluation.
The first thing you need to know about me is that I love my kids, but they are not my everything. They used to be, but that's when my entire life fell apart. In order to pick back up the pieces, I had to put the love I have for myself before everything else, including my kids. I'm Jessica Dennehy, and I own multiple businesses. I'm a best-selling author, and I have all the strategies that I've used to make my life what it is today. And I'm going to teach you how to do them in my new book, Selfish is a Superpower. So go get your copy today on Barnes & Noble or jessicadennehy.com.
Announcing a revolutionary tool for wellness. Scalar Light has the ability to enhance and harmonize your own bioenergies. With Scalar Light, you can get started in just minutes and begin feeling better the very next day. Scalar Light is a remote energy that gently and subtly works with your own body's bioenergies, increases pro-cellular wellness, and enhances your body's immunity.
Experience the benefits of Scalar Light. Try a complimentary 15-day experience at scalarlight.com.
In your hands lie ancestral patterns. These patterns shape how you think, what you struggle with, and experiences you love, your life pattern. We're going into the latest neuroscience of biological hand analysis, a realm beyond palmistry where science and the soul entwine. Hand analysis is the latest method to transform lifelong patterns. I am Master Hand Analyst Brent Bruning. Join us and visit thepowerinyourhands.com.
I'd like to thank Jason Eastwood at Guitarfulness for sharing his inspiring music and talent with us. His music is known worldwide for cultivating atmospheres of harmony, inner peace, and clarity. Visit Jason's website at guitarfulness.com. Join his newsletter, be part of his community, and download his music. Welcome back to Moments with Marianne. We're here today with special guest Lynn Patner, who's sharing with us her new book, The Awakened Soul, Discovering the Light Within. Before we left for break, we were talking about humanity, and it seems in many ways that we've really gotten in the weeds with how we treat one another.
Yeah, but that's why the book is timely, because there's so much anger and fear. Everything's fear-based and angry. Look at what's happening. I mean, it's sad to see people attack different people because their belief system isn't the same, or to listen to untruths and believe they're true and do things that will hurt their bodies. they're not that they're dumb. They're just looking for someone that they can follow and not knowing they're unique individuals, and they've all come with special gifts too. Even the bum in the street, even the most homeless man or woman in the street has come for a purpose. Her soul is here to learn something. What it is, I can't tell you, but I can have compassion for her journey.
Yeah.
And I can be kind to her or him. That's what I believe is what's happening in the world. Our population of people are awakening at a very high level, and they're floundering because they don't know what's happening to them. But we need to awaken other people so that they can see how much love is the opposite of fear. It's like, I explain it like there's a room is a dark room, and you put a candle in it, and one candle will illuminate the entire room. So if a person's on their personal journey and they get to know how much power they have with love, then they will use it all the time. They will make a choice. This is my choice to show love. I can set my intention.
But you have to be intentional with it, because a lot of time it's like New Year's resolutions, right? Yeah. So we all have these intentions to do something, but if we don't have that follow through, I mean, what good is it?
It's true, but we don't remember that we even set the intentions. But if you consciously set an intention to everybody listening, just do this. This is fun. Set your intention to be kind to everybody you meet today. Everybody. Being kind. You can smile. You can say hello. You can comment on their clothes. You can comment on their smile, and then see how you feel at the end of the day. It is such a great exercise.
What a beautiful place to start. Just start out your day as just knowing that you're going to show up and be kind.
Right. But it's an intentional kindness. Everybody says, I'm kind, I'm kind, I'm kind. Yeah, you really are. But intentionally setting your intention to be kind, that's special.
That takes a little doing.
Yeah, it's consciousness. You have to be conscious to be kind.
So I know you talk about in your book how just, people have these core wounds.
Oh,
and
yeah.
is that just some people, or is that everybody?
Everybody. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. From the ages of 0 to 8, most people get wounded. Babies get wounded. I have a case now, which is sad. This is a preverbal wound. But when she was a little baby, she was, they'd give her a bottle at 6 o'clock at night, and then they would wake her up at 9 o'clock in the morning, or get her at 9 o'clock in the morning. And they thought she was such a great baby, but they were very sound sleepers. So now as an adult, whenever she gets threatened with anything, and she's in a difficult situation, she feels like there's bars all around her and she's being caged. That's the preverbal feelings of a baby who couldn't get help. That baby must have cried and to whatever, and they couldn't get out. So her feelings are now embodied within her. And for me, it was, I'm not enough when I went to preschool, because I had only played with adults. So every single person, including Jack Canfield, who I talked to, which was a great thing, talked about his wound of not being enough. And there's other wounds. I don't belong. I'm not loved. I'm not enough. There's so many wounds. There's so many. And especially if you look at the statistics in child abuse, you have 1 out of 4 little girls being molested some way before the age of 18. And that can be someone just, showing themselves, or it can be anything. And you have the same amount with boys too. Boys aren't brought up as much because everybody thinks boys like being molested, but they don't. It's scary for them. And it's scary for the girls, and they always blame themselves. So that wound is very powerful. And you can see how that wound will go through their entire life, or like my life with my wound of being not enough. I would call to me instances which I would be not enough. I wasn't pretty enough. I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't thin enough. And that went on for years, but it was unconscious. It's not a conscious thing. And what my guide wrote about that, what I think is brilliant, and I'd like to read that to you, because I think wounds are your most important thing to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote and asked him, in 2000, the year 2000, what's going on? And he said, what is going on with you? You are being offered a wonderful opportunity to take a good look at yourself, to see what your blocks are and what has run them for the past years. It's all about observing, seeing what's really in your head, and seeing you are not that person, the person you always thought you were, which is not enough. You are beautiful, smart, and kind. You have more to give, and do not let the block continue, or you will cut off the best part of you. Let it go. It is not real. It is merely a perceived thought process you have used for most of your life. No one is better or worse than another. Everyone has blocks, worries, and fears. It is not wise to stay attached to old wounds. It serves no purpose. Yet, with that being said, my last wound showed up in 2021.
Oh, wow.
So that is how in that wound, because I was meeting with Jack Canfield and I thought, oh my God, he's going to hate my book. And I ended up in the hospital with a panic attack. I had never had a panic attack. So now, listeners, I know what it feels like to have a panic attack. And I know how a wound, I'm 77. I had this wound at 3. I find this to be, if I'm having it, I'm teaching it. What I learn, I teach. So this wound finally got to, I said, I am done with this wound. And I turned it over. I said, listen, God, and God to me is this wonderful energy source of love and compassion and kindness. I said, you wanted me to write the book? I wrote the book. It's your turn now. And so I just let it go. So I have absolutely no more. I'm not enough. I have no ego in this book. I just know that it was supposed to be written to assist others. And I'm not attached. So everybody, when you become an author, it's like a big deal. I was a big deal before I became an author.
I'd agree with you on that.
So you got to laugh at it. But the wounds are I'm at the place where wounds are very much need to be looked at, and you have to see them. And sometimes you don't see them. And so that's what this book shows you, how to see more of your wounds so that you can look at them and see that they were created when you didn't have the tools to deal with them. You had nothing. You were a baby. You were a kid. So, and no one helped you. So I'm about teaching adults, which are really children in disguise.
It's interesting. I mean, how many of us take that old programming and we're on like automatic pilot for the rest of our lives. So how does someone break free of that and start moving in a different direction?
You have to be aware of it. So you have to discover it. And once you discover that wound, you have to look for a wound. You have to see how your life has been. So let's say you have a friend who has been married 4 times or 3 times. If you look at her choice of husbands, you will see a pattern. They will be different people, but we're in different shoes, but the same characteristics. So what I have seen in my work is victims marry perpetrators and perpetrators marry victims. And if you come from these homes of alcoholism or child abuse, you need to work on your wounds, whether you work on them through a therapist or, which is I do suggest therapy if you've been wounded anyway with alcoholism or sexual abuse or emotional battering. But once you become aware of it, you see how it has gone through your entire life. And when you see that and become conscious of it, not unconscious, you can handle it by saying, I'm not going to play this game anymore. This is not for me. But you're going to be aware of it because it doesn't go away. You don't all of a sudden take a bath and the wound disappears. The wound is there. It's just not as active because you've controlled it. You've said, I am light. I am love. I am a unique being put on this planet as a soul to learn and grow and shed my individuality of light and love to the world. When you get to that place after doing the work, there is no need for your wound. I don't have the wound anymore, but it's taken me all this time. So I would like to assist people in not having all this time with their wounds because it's a waste of time. That's how I see it.
Well, I would agree with you 100%. And there's a lot of people that just kind of go, gosh, I seem to be drawing in the same patterns in my life or the same people, and all of it's not where I want to be. Is that kind of like a replay of the wounds?
Yes, because they don't think they deserve any better. So if you're not good enough, if you aren't lovable, you're going to call to you. Your soul is here to learn. Your soul, you're born here for a reason. You are a divine character. You are divinity. So I equate that to the ocean. If you take a drop of the ocean, is it still the ocean? Yes. So you are a divine being on the planet Earth with your soul's contract. The soul is here to learn. How does it learn? It has experiences. You have to get to the point where you see that who you are is not who you thought you were. This is the hardest part. After you've experienced a lot of these synchronicities in life, when you can look back and say, oh, that person showed up just when I needed them. Or this person, doing these radio shows, I have had people all over call me or email me, wow, I didn't know this, or I didn't know that, or blah, blah, whatever. So I'm touching somebody, which is all I want to do anyway. But when you see that you have something that travels through your life, that's when your soul is bringing you those circumstances so that you can leave them and find out who you are. You're unique. What do? You're running radio shows. You help writers. You do all of this stuff. I wrote a book. We're all helping. We found our unique gifts. And we have also found out that we are love and light. And we are here to assist the planet out of darkness. Because what's happening in the planet is very dark right now. And that's why this book is timely. We need people like me. There was a movie star. He was interviewed, can't remember, but he wrote a book, and people will read his book, and it's about his journey. And he's very spiritual. So this is a great gift of your soul. And if you join the bandwagon and you say, I want to be spiritual in 2 years, or I want to learn, or I'm curious in what she said, and how about energy and all this, you will be led. Your guides will hop off the couch. They'll open a bottle of champagne. They'll eat bonbons, and they'll go, woohoo, we're starting. So, we got a live one.
Well, and I'm sure things must change so dramatically when, we're able to face the things that we want to change.
Yes, but it's not a mind change. It's a heart change. See, we're brought up to think. This has to do with the heart. This is opening the heart to love you. You have to work on healing your heart in order to love you, in order to love someone else. That was the big thing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not as easy as your mind doing this stuff. It's not a mind thing, because your mind got you into it. Your mind is your ego. Your mind's great, but for research. But when it comes to opening up your soul work, it's all heart. If you look at the masters, it's from their heart. Well,
I felt your book, The Awakened Soul, was such an amazing read. I highly suggest it. Lynn, where can our listeners connect with you and be part of your community and learn more about your work?
I have a webpage. It's lynnpatner.com. And how else and I have an email. People can email at lynnpatner@gmail.com. I try to keep my name simple.
Make it easy. I know. Well, Lynn, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us here today.
Well, thank you for having me. It's really been a pleasure.
Well, thank you, Lynn. It has been such an honor to spend this time with you and to talk about your book, The Awakened Soul, Discovering the Light Within. The Awakened Soul is available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and everywhere books are sold. And remember, support our indie bookstores. If it's not on the shelf, just ask for them to order it. You can visit Lynn at her website. That's Lynn Patner, that's spelled Patner.com. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne, where we make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary. A recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.